Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's webinar with Impera. My name is Emily. I'm the Senior Campaign Lead here at Birchal. And just before I introduce you to Ash, I would like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land that we are coming to you from today. Birchal is based on the lands of the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, and we pay our respects to their elders, past, present, and emerging. As mentioned today, I am joined by Ash from Impera. So before we get started on everything, I just want to give everybody a little bit of an overview. Birchal's working with Impera on their upcoming crowdsourced funding offer. A few of you might be a little bit unfamiliar with crowdsourced funding or CSF. You might also know it as equity crowdfunding, but it's a relatively new form of fundraising here in Australia that allows startups and small businesses to raise capital from a larger number of smaller or retail investors, as well as wholesale or sophisticated investors through an online platform such as Birchal. So instead of seeking funding from traditional sources such as banks or venture capitalists, companies can turn to the general public, and often that can be their communities, to raise money in exchange for equity in their business. Birchal Financial Services are the licensed intermediary for this offer. I just want to remind everybody who is watching that the information and discussion in this webinar is for informational purposes and should not be considered as advice or a recommendation to invest. So I would implore you to do your own research and always consider the CSF document and general CSF risk warning before investing. If you do require any more information, please head to birchal.com where you can reach out to us if you've got any questions. Now, how today's session is going to run, Ash is going to take us through a great presentation, which will be approximately 15 minutes, all about Impera, where they've come from, and what they're looking to achieve with their capital raise. We'll then switch to a Q&A session. So if you look at the bottom of your Zoom screen, you'll see a little Q&A bubble. So if you've got any questions during today's session, please just pop it in the Q&A box as we go along, and we'll answer these during the Q&A time at the end. Also, we are recording today's session, so if you do have to jump off early, a recording will be sent around. So, without further ado, let me hand over to Ash Brown.
Thanks, Em. Fully appreciate all the hard work that you've done with Impera so far with this raise. It's been absolutely fantastic. So can't recommend Birchal enough. Thank you for attending today's session, the Q&A for Impera and Birchal, for Impera on the Birchal platform. So with Impera, we're a business strategy and execution solution, born from the fact that I spent 20 years as a C-level working with small to medium business, working in the small to medium business that was high growth businesses, and we were building strategies, and the problem was that they were never getting executed. And the more I moved and spoke to people in the industry, that this was becoming a fast problem. And the issue wasn't so much that the strategies were bad. It was just there's no vehicle to take it from point A to point B to point C. There's no ways to keep everyone engaged, and they become very siloed to the owner of the business and potentially the C level. And so you lost a lot of the strategic energy inside the business, and it went away. As you can see here, that according to the Harvard Business Review, 94% of businesses fail to execute their strategy. That's a massive number. It's just, we're talking hundreds of millions of businesses across the world, and only 6% are actually executing their strategy. So that is a significant problem. I've been a part of it, and people that have signed up to Impera and have been part of what we're doing, they've all said the same thing. We've got this strategy, or we've built it out, and it's basically a plan on a page. What we're trying to do is go and say, not just be a plan on a page, let's make it an executable plan so you can actually start growing your business. That's really, really important, because no one just does a strategy just for strategy's sake. 20% of SMEs, who is our core focus, so that's companies up to about $100 million a year, they fail in year one. That's according to ABS stats. So that's, once again, an unbelievable stat. That it's just, I hate seeing the idea of people being able to trying to build their businesses and it fall over within year one, and it's just just horrific. 50%, once again, make it to year 5. So it really starts to cut away at businesses. And one of the leading causes of this is poor strategic planning and execution. Businesses often fail to plan effectively and they struggle to execute their goals properly. And it's generally due to, misaligned goal sets. They're not clear. They're mismanaging their resources, and they're not adapting. And that's where we come in. We really help businesses adapt and curate their plans to help businesses grow, because that's the key, right? So we want businesses to be the best versions of themselves. So how do we do that? Well, our approach is really simple. We don't just want to be software, we want to be human. So we want to combine software and the human element of consulting to work with the clients to create better outcomes. We want to simplify the strategic process. So what we do is, instead of turning around and saying that go and build these incredibly long, big, intricate strategies that go nowhere, we actually want companies to build simpler strategies that start getting strategic energy in the business. Because one of the biggest takeaway that I've seen is people start going really early, really complex. And working with a consultant, an Impera Connect consultant, really does allow the client to really start building up that strategic strength in their business. We liken it very simply to, you walk into a gym, everyone's got a gym membership, but you'll walk around and you'll just go, oh, I think I'll go do the treadmill, I think I'll go do a bit of push ups, and I'll do some bench press. But you're not actually working any particular muscle, you're just walking around doing stuff. With Impera, we combine the gym with a PT, which is a consultant that will work with you to help you be the best, to grow the best version of yourself in the business. So instead of going into try to do a bench press and try to do 150 kilos straight away and ripping your pec off your chest, you're actually going in and you're going, okay, well, we've got to build that strength. And the strategy is the same in business. You've got to build that strength, and we really focus in on. And that's where, building the strategic strength. We also want to keep it focused on learning and winning. And what I mean by that is, the way we build plans in Impera is to help businesses start to feel that winning feeling, get that dopamine hit, rather than sort of just going and going, okay, we're gonna shoot for the moon. Okay, cool. We'll shoot for the moon and we'll hope and we'll hit the stars, which is a hit and hope strategy. It's like, okay, what are the things we need to do this quarter to actually start achieving and creating strategic strength? And that's what we do with our consulting and our platform. But then the other part of it that's really vital for us is we actually start to help them by checking in quarterly to say, hey, how are you going with those goals? How are you tracking with that strategic sales goal that you're putting together? And really start to build trust and ownership of the strategy with the actual client. So very, very, very important. And that leads us to this point: adapt, adapt, adapt. What we think is working in Q1 might not work in Q4. And with the software, we're able to adapt. One of the questions we get is, why are you different from project management? Well, there's two reasons. We're not just software; we're human as well as software. But the other side of it is project manager, very linear. It's very, go here, task A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Where when we deal with strategy, it's a very, very, very fluid environment. So it's very, very important to keep that up. The market opportunity. So people sit there and talk about the TAMs and the SAMs and the SOMs. We just look at the market opportunity. In 2024, you're talking about a $50 billion market consulting across the entire market in USD. By 2032, it will be 104 billion. That's a growth rate of CAGR of 8.9% per year. So it's a significant growth market, and it's actually a very big market opportunity to really disrupt this market, because strategic consulting really does struggle at times to align to what the actual customer need is. And that's what we really want to do. We don't want to just give you a PowerPoint presentation and send you off your way and do an offsite and pat ourselves on the back and get a check for 15 grand. We actually are invested in our clients' success, because they will continue to come back to us and we'll be trusted partners within their businesses. Really, really important. And that leads us to the investing. So why are we raising with Birchal, and what are we investing in? Well, we want to scale up our sales and marketing machine. We want to invest in Google, in Meta ads. We want to invest in AI BDRs, our sales engines that we're currently using to start bringing those leads in. We also want to work. We're working with Google on our AI and ML technologies. So what that will do is actually allow users to adapt faster and have more information around their strategy, the strategic planning than they've ever had before. So if they're looking at it going, okay, why are my KPIs falling away? Impera's AI will be able to say, well, it's falling away because Joe, Jim, and Janie haven't hit their KPIs over the last 3 months. Here's suggestions that will allow you to grow that business. User-driven platform improvements. So we want to make sure that we are obsessed with simplicity. We want people to pick up and use it and not have to sit there and go, oh my God, how the hell do I do this? How the hell do I do that? We're obsessed with making it as simple as possible. The best products in market are simple. So we want to start by building, we want to continue building on our simple philosophy, our 2-click philosophy, that we don't take any more than 2 clicks. We know people have platform fatigue in businesses, so we want to take that away and make that a much more a greater experience. So we're really investing in the human experience at the start with the consulting, working with really clever consultants that can help solve problems and build plans, but we want the software to enable them to continue that winning feeling along the way. And then in time, we want to expand our market further into the US, as we've got some wins over there, UK, Middle East, North Africa, as well as Southeast Asia. And that there's sort of the rundown of sort of what we're doing, why we're doing it, and how we're doing it. More than keen to take on questions, but yeah, that's the real sort of overview of what we're doing with Impera.
Sorry, I was on mute, just talking to myself. Thank you so much for that presentation. That was awesome. Absolutely loved it. If you want to stop sharing, oh, you stopped sharing screen. Sorry, my thing was a little bit delayed. So, how big is your team currently, Ash?
Yeah, so we've got myself, we've got Ash McVee, who's our head of marketing, and we've got 3 in development.
And do you intend on expanding your team once the raise is complete?
Yeah, we're looking, as my big goal is, as we sort of hit revenue goals, that we can start expanding those into sort of customer service, operations, and also sale, and also consultant training.
And what sets you apart from competitors in the landscape?
A lot of competitors that we've got in the landscape are really focused on the big end of town, like companies that are, 3, 4, 500,000, 3, 4, 500 million listed. We want to help businesses from about 500,000, so they're coming out of the ground, up to about 150 million, so they're starting to really evolve their business. So for us, we're really focused on that. Also, we are probably one of the only ones, I believe, that are doing a full strategy solution versus just here's a software, go figure it out, or here's a software and do 3 off sites. We really want to focus on the fact that we want this to be a part of their process in the business versus rejigging their whole business to suit the strategy.
Can you talk a little bit about the defensibility of your IP?
Yeah, so for us, it's really, really important that we continue to focus on simplicity. And that's our biggest core. Why we've been able to pivot the business in the last sort of 6 to 12 months is based off the fact we pay attention to our customers, and we're driven by user feedback versus what we think's cool, and we're led by them. That's why the whole pivot went from being a SaaS product to being a full strategy solution. It went that way because we listened to our customer, and our customer said, "Hey, we want the whole box and dice. We want a consultant to come and help us. We want to implement it, and then we want help to keep us on track."
Awesome. What kind of data are you collecting about your customers and how do you keep this secure?
Yeah, so we collect various data, where it's from whether it's good old fashioned sales numbers, check-ins, that type of stuff. That's all kept in Microsoft Azure. We've got local data warehouses in Sydney, a couple in Sydney, one in Dallas. We do continual pen testing. We're very, very, very focused on data and making sure that our data is as secure as possible. So.
And obviously, AI is a hot topic at the moment. How do you foresee this, you know, affecting your company moving forward in a positive or negative way?
I think AI is the problem with AI in some regards is it's overused. The word AI is overused. So why we've been able to sort of pull back and we want to invest in AI that's impactful AI. We want to have AI help the user get better insights into their business. So for us, um, people don't want to. We could have went the AI path, created an AI consultant that works with the client, but I feel honestly, when it comes to that, the human element is so damn important. The reason why we still have accountants, the reason why we will have consultancy won't die as a business because people still want to have the idea um, from a consultant, but it also takes away the biasness. Sometimes AI can be biased towards your own bias, and you're hearing what you want to hear. Where actually, with humans, we'll challenge an idea and go, "Well, actually, Bill, that's a really bad idea because you won't get there, but we can do this, this, and this will allow you to get to this." Where AI will just probably take you down the garden path.
Good to know. So, what's inspired you to raise funds through equity crowdfunding versus a venture capitalist, angel investors? What's the idea there?
I've had plenty. I've spoken to a few founders that have done the CSF route, raved about it. I like there's two sides of it. I like the fact that where our investors become our partners, and they become advocates for Impera. I think that's really important. We've got a really strong shareholder investor network, and I'd like to expand that. I also like the idea of building a business that is almost community based, solving a community problem. So for me, it allows us a level of freedom to work without sort of spreadsheet bias from institutional investors, that we can actually work together on this problem versus sort of going to trends.
What have you seen have been the key issues that you've been able to solve for companies through your solution?
Yeah, the biggest one, sales is always the one. So they get visibility over, they connect it up to their CRM, where it's HubSpot, Salesforce, Zoho. That's been a really good one where people actually can start going, okay, well, we can see the actions that are leading to our KPIs hitting. Another one is we've got a company in Melbourne that uses Impera to help their agri-tech business really refine their operational processes, and that's a really cool to see. It was a use case I never expected, and to see that was just amazing. Another one we use, which is even a different use case, we've got a company in Wyoming that's using Impera to manage their strategy for youth missed what do they call when you've removed from home, and they're using I'm just butchered what it's actually called. I should have thought of that, but yeah, it's basically they're using Impera for that. It's called Family First, and they're actually allowing Impera is allowing them to create strategies and execute strategies to lower youth homelessness in Wyoming, which is kind of a wild. A kind of a wild thing to sit there when you think about it. You go, holy crap, we're helping, three-quarters around the world with youth homelessness. So that's awesome.
Yeah, that's huge. How did you go about reaching a US market?
In all honesty, just automation, email automation, um, finding a message that works, and then reach out to the people that we need to, like identifying CFOs, CEOs, founders, operations managers, and then curating very bespoke messaging for those particular use cases. So there's no point going to a sales manager and saying, "Hey, we can help you with your balance sheet strategy to try to reduce your tax liabilities and that sort of stuff," because they don't care about that. So you've got to be able to hit the right ICP with the right messaging.
Yeah, awesome. Makes a whole heap of sense. So, what's your number one use of funds? What are you raising funds for first and foremost?
Yeah, in all honesty, sales, marketing, and development of the product. We believe that now that the way we've built the product and we've built the solution, we're in the best spot now to sort of go, okay, let's double down and let's start growing this thing from what it was to getting to that 100 mil number. So it's a vital part of what we're doing.
Yeah, amazing. Are you looking to expand into any other verticals or horizontal markets?
At the moment, I'm really focused on staying in our lane and being the best damn strategy solution there is. That doesn't mean that we won't listen to ideas that will that we can add on products. What it means is we'll just need to make sure that we've got a significant use case there and it's scalable. So nothing's off the table, but at the moment I'm focused on creating the best damn product and the best damn solution globally for people.
100%. So, what have been your key moments or milestones that you've been the most proud of in terms of your journey?
Um, yeah, that's a good one. It's fun. It's sometimes you don't sit back and think about that stuff. Um, uh, in all honesty, like meeting with BDO, meeting with RSM, talking to them, and actually turning around and saying, yeah, we actually want to start adopting this product in the next 12 months. Winning customers in the US, winning customers in Dubai, winning customers in the UK, New Zealand. That's really exciting because you sit there and go, holy crap, we're building something that's actually that's got global potential, and sometimes you've got to have that pinch me moment. It's just where you see people, and in all honesty, the energy around the brand and people's point of view, it doesn't seem to be, and maybe I'm not listening to the right people, but there doesn't seem to be like, oh, Imperial, oh, they're idiots, or it's like it's Imperial, it's like, oh, holy, yeah, they're solving a real problem, or they seem to be good people, that type of stuff. And to be honest, another proud thing, and this sounds absolutely ridiculous, and people will sit there and go, whatever. 2/3 of our business is female. We've got and a third of it is women of color. So having a diverse business that is helping them create better lives, that's really important to me than just having a business just for business sake.
100%. That's amazing to hear. So, in terms of your growth since inception, what would you say were the most challenging aspects of growing from the beginning to where you are today?
The most challenging aspects would definitely be staying in thinking that we're just a SaaS product and not realizing that we had one part of the equation. We needed to add consulting, deployment, and adaptation to it, and that was probably the most challenging part. Watching numbers sort of plateau, but then speaking to customers and finding out why and churn customers. That's a really important thing. I say this to any founder: don't just talk to the customers that like you. Talk to the customers that didn't end up using you for whatever reason, because they're the ones that have got nothing to lose, and they'll tell you why. So that was probably the biggest challenge at first, to go, oh, hang on a minute, maybe we didn't solve the problem like we thought we did. And then now we can go back and go, okay, well, actually, we're providing a solution versus just a software.
Brilliant. So, when you have new shareholders on board post raise, how important is it to you to hear their voice and understand what they could contribute to your company?
Oh, I absolutely encourage it. Every single one of them have my phone number, every single one of them have my email and LinkedIn. And I've got an extraordinarily good relationship with significant number of my shareholders already. They help us big time. They're advocates. I'm an open book. I'll also, if an idea is way out, so if someone turns around and goes, "Oh, instead of strategy, have you thought about building, software for water slides?" I'll probably go, "It's probably not quite what we need to, not what we need to do." But no, I'm with some of the. I've got great friendships from our current shareholders, and it's just I love the fact that people want to be on our journey, and I want them to feel part of that.
Awesome. And how often do you intend to communicate with your shareholders once they're on board?
Yeah, we actually communicate once a month. I do an update once a month. just a high level view. Then after that, we'll do a quarterly review, which we'll send through sales numbers, pipeline numbers. That we one of the things that Birchal's done for us, and people talk about the crowd fundraise and that sort of stuff, fantastic. But what it's done is it's straightened up our financial disciplines and our reporting disciplines, and that to me is really really important. And I look at that and I go, that's what I want to do. I want to be able to sort of send a quarterly report. This is what's in our pipeline. This is what's coming up. This is where we're at. So it gives confidence that to our investors that we're not just taking your money and running. We're actually investing in the right areas. We're growing the business. We're trying new things. We're trying to adapt, and we're listening to our customers. So for me, investor reporting, I'm definitely an open book with that stuff.
Brilliant. Where does the name Impera come from?
That's a good one. So I'm a Star Wars fan, and I tried to buy Empire. This is during COVID. I didn't have the 35,000 or 400,000 or whatever it was to buy that. So I thought, all right, I'll just scrap the E, and I'll just add an A because it sounds like Imperial. And that didn't work. So I just added another A. So yeah, so that's. But the reason why I did that was I didn't want to call it Stratify or My Strat or whatever because I could see Imperial evolving into something more than just strategy down the line, and I didn't want to box myself in.
Great. That's good to know. And obviously, you're going through the funding now. Do you foresee in the future that you'll need to raise additional funds?
Well, our goal is to be cash flow positive by Q1 25, and we're very very prudent about our spending. We've reduced our cash burn significantly. We've reduced our fixed costs significantly. The new model is a variable fixed cost as a variable cost base. So we're trying to run a business, not a startup, and that's vital. If we do take new capital on, it would have to make a lot of sense and be for growth capital, not for operating capital.
Awesome. And currently, how many users do you have on the platform?
Yeah, we've got just under 1,100 companies. Now that's also mixed up with freemium because we've got freemium on the platform as a sales tool for businesses to sign up and start using it at a very, very light rate. And that allows us opportunities to speak to them and say, hey, look, we see you're using Imperial, you're interested in strategy. Have you thought about doing this, this, this? So it's a really good opportunity for us to do that. We had a SaaS model up to the 1st of August. From there, we've moved to the full service solution. So yeah.
Awesome. And how can consultants be part of Impera?
Email me, ash@impera.com. Email me and we'll talk. We've got consultants that are working with us. We've got 15 consultants, 10 in Australia and 5 in the US. We're always looking for really smart, engaged consultants to work with us so we can refer them to clients, whether it's a go-to-market, a marketing one, an ESG, exit planning, sales, whatever. But also we're encouraging consultants to use Imperial with their own clients, and they're able to get a rebate off that as well. So they can actually, once they're trained up in Imperial, they're like, well, I can actually roll this out with my own clients. So that's so yeah, reach out to me. More than keen to chat. I've spoken to many of you already on the phone over the next week. Trust me, there's a lot of phone calls coming everyone's way just to touch base and see where we're all at.
Brilliant. Thank you. I think that's all of our questions for today. You've covered a lot of ground.
Yeah, yeah. No, it seems like that's all right. That's good. Fire the questions away, and I'll answer them. And if people have more questions for me, feel free to reach out to me via email or LinkedIn, or even through the Birchal platform. So I'm more than keen to answer any questions. As you know, Emma, I'm pretty much an open book, so I've got no issues of having to chat about anything. So.
No, absolutely love it. And I'm sure you'll be chatting with everybody as much as possible over the next week. So for everybody, if you do want to rewatch any of today's session, a recording will be sent around. So please do, if you need to reach out to Birchal in any way. If you've got any questions, please just reach out at support@birchal.com, or any questions for Ash, please get in touch at ash@empira.com, or head to their Birchal profile. If you haven't already, do express interest so you can be the first to know when the offer goes live to the public and you can invest. But
Yep.
thank you so much,
Excellent.
Ash, and thanks everybody for coming today.
Thanks very much. Thanks, Em.
Take care.